Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing? Happy morning, afternoon, good night, wherever you might be at the moment. This is the first in my first series. I'm very excited to present my first series, which is Fundamentals. And this is going to be a 3-series short video clips to really set you off into the foundation of what it is really to take charge and move forward in your life. And today we're going to talk about number one. First thing is a vision. Because if you don't know where you're going to go, you're not going to know how you're going to get there. And right now the how is not important, it's about what it is that your vision is for your life. So have you ever spent any time thinking about what it is your life looks like? Because I know from personal experience, a lot of my life was really just a case of moving from one thing to the next. Bouncing around, and after a while I kind of got okay at making the most of each individual situation, getting out of that, taking the clues, taking the lessons and reinvesting those and moving forward. But really didn't spend any time thinking about why. Why was I doing the things that I was doing? When I was growing up, I started working in financial services straight after school when I was 16 years old. My dad took me to a place and I got a job and it was great. I had a job, I went to work every day, I was around a bunch of adults. That was fantastic. And that lasted for 3.5 years, and I got to the end of that and I got made redundant when I was 20. And at that point and through that period I really enjoyed it, but I got to the end and thought, oh, what do I want? What do I want from my life? And I was asking that question, but I wasn't really even intentionally doing it. It was just there. I hadn't spent the time to think about, well, what do I really want? I knew I hadn't figured anything out, but I also knew that I needed to do something, because if I have a plan, I'm always reacting to what's out there. So to really create a vision is really the first thing that we need to do to figure out what it is that we want for our lives. And a great exercise to do this is to think about fast forwarding wherever you are in your life. And it doesn't matter, by the way, wherever you are in your life, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've achieved, it doesn't matter how successful you are, it doesn't matter what you think of goal setting, it doesn't matter anything else that's going on, right? Because now is the right time to start, right? Think about this. Think about 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the line. Think about all the way down to your deathbed, or however far you think that might be away, because who knows? Could be tomorrow, could be next week. So now is always the right time to think about that place and put yourself in that place. And this is exercise number one. Think about spending 10 minutes to sit down by yourself with a pen and paper, get yourself in a place where you're energized, ready to go, and just visualize what that looks like for you. What do you want to be doing when you're 80, 90, 95 years old? Wherever you consider yourself towards the last part of your life. And wherever you are, perhaps you're on a sailboat somewhere with peace and quiet around you. Perhaps you're on a sail ship, a cruise ship somewhere with your significant other, enjoying the fantastic scenery and family around you. You know, perhaps you're in a huge mansion somewhere, or perhaps you're in a tiny little cottage. Perhaps you're living out in tents and loving it, enjoying it. Whatever that is for you right now. And by the way, it might change. It's just about what is there right now. What is right now is right. And think about that. And take yourself in that place and visualize what's around you. And think about what other things that you have in your life at that stage. Maybe that's family. Maybe that's contribution that you've given over the years. Maybe it's a contribution you're able to give then, still. Maybe it's physical activity you're able to do. Maybe it's just the quality of life that you have every day. Maybe it's that deep connection you have with your partner. And then start to think about what are all the milestones you would have needed to hit along your way up until this point in order to get you to where you want to be. And start to think of that down in increments of, say, 10 years, right? Say decades. Depending on where you are and how far out you're thinking, chunk it down. So the exercise, spend some time, spend 10 minutes going through creating that vision of what it looks like to be 80 or 90, 95 years old. And then when you've written that down, and go crazy, just whatever's in your head, get it out, get it down, all the things that you want, anything you can imagine. This is the vision for your life. Just get it out there. Anything is possible. Right? Dream it and it will be so. Get it down. And once you've got a paragraph, once you've got a page, wherever that is, start to distill down what that looks like in milestones and create at least 5 milestones. Create at least 5 milestones that you need to do from wherever you are now in your life up until this point, up until this ultimate vision for yourself. And from those 5 milestones, start to think about when they need to fit in. Right? First of all, think about what they are, what are the 5, and then think about from a timeline perspective where do they need to fit in. And what you should end up with is really a framework, a starting point for a vision for your life. And the value of doing this is amazing because what it gives you a certainty that you know where you want to be heading. Remember, it's not about how, it's about what you want, why you want it. That vision overall. And remember, it can still change. There's nothing wrong here. It's a starting point. Because without a starting point, we don't know where we're heading. We're just going to get whatever the environment gives us. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, sometimes that's neutral. But that is not what we want for our entirety of our lives. If we're committed to going forward, if we're committed to making the most of ourselves, this is not what we want. I hope most of you want that. Right? If you don't, that's fine. But just be intentional about what it is. If you decide that you don't want to create a vision, if you decide that you don't want to really make the best of yourself and get the highest quality of life and fulfillment that you could possibly have, okay, that's cool, really. But just be intentional about what it is. If not, join me, create your vision. Think about that, spend 10 minutes, getting it down, whatever's possible. 5 milestones, 5 key milestones of what you need to hit in your life in order to get to this point. And then start to put some dates around them. And what you should end up with, just to recap, is a page or maybe 2 pages of content as to what that vision looks like. And then the milestones as to what are the key points you need to hit along the way. And once you have that, share it with someone. Share it with someone special to you. Just go out there, right? And if it feels a bit uncomfortable, good. Right? Recognize that you're outside of your comfort zone, because being outside of your comfort zone is where the growth happens. That's where we want to be, ladies and gentlemen. So spend the time, recap again. 10 minutes on your vision, get out there. What do you want when you're 80 or 90 years old? What do you want to look back on? What are the key milestones? What are the 5 key milestones? And then second part of the exercise, share it with someone. Get some feedback. I'd love to hear how you do. I'd love to get any sort of commentary. I'd love to hear what you think about these videos. Good or bad, indifferent or otherwise. Go and get it. More than anything, it's about that. Taking charge of your life, moving forward. Take care.